Zo, jij neemt op. Dit staat ook gewoon goed. Ja, oké. Hey there, my name is Nibiri and today I'm going to show you how you can make the best of your vocals. And before we get to the vocal, let's just first have a little drink and just check out the break that I made for this tutorial. Let me know if you really like this melody, because I personally really do. Do you want to see me make a full track with it? Let me know. And the vocal that we're going to use today sounds like this.
You and I can reach the sky. Oh, I know. Your skin feels like a paradise.
So basically what you want to do when you want to work with vocals is you take your vocal, which probably looks something like this. And then you take your threshold from your compressor, pull it down so that the highest peaks of your vocals are going to be compressed, and the whole output of that compressor is going to be a lot more balanced for the volume, so it's easier to mix. And today's vocals are from warble.com. Warble.com is a great website where you can get royalty-free vocals for an affordable price. I definitely suggest that you check it out. The link is going to be in the description. And as I've just explained, and you can see this in the vocal itself as well, it just really has some loud parts and quiet parts, and we're going to use compression to just bring it to a more controlled level, and after that we can just edit it a little bit more for some spice. So you can really see that this part of the vocal has the loudest part and the more quiet parts. So we're gonna focus on that with a little bit of a compressor. But before we do that, we just take away a little bit of the lows with a nice low cut to clean up the mess around the vocal a little bit.
Your skin feels like a paradise.
And now we're gonna compress our vocal. I personally like to put a hard knee, and I'm gonna take off the auto just because it boosts the output gain, and we don't need that right now. Then we're taking our threshold, and with the threshold we're putting this at the right spot where it detects everything above it so it can push it down. That's basically just what a compressor does. Everything above the threshold is gonna get pushed down.
Your skin feels like a paradise.
And you already see that this is working.
Your skin feels like a paradise. Don't let go.
And with the don't let go, it just compresses it still a little bit, but not that much already. And now we can add a little bit of ratio if we want to make it a little bit more extreme, or we can take it down a little bit if we want a more softer kind of compression.
Your skin feels like a paradise. Don't let go. Oh no.
And that's basically all for the compression. Just set that threshold to the right peak where it takes the highest parts but not the lowest parts of the vocal, and then just move the ratio around until it sounds comfortable to you. And now all we need to do is just add a little bit of output gain so that it's on the same level as we had before. Basically you're just making up for the gain that you've lost with the reduction of those higher peaks. I've just exported the vocal, and as you can see it's just a lot more balanced in the volume right now. And you might argue that you still hear a little bit too much difference between the loud parts and the quiet parts, but all you need to do is either just change your compression settings so it's a little bit more harsh, brings down the tops a little bit, or you can add a second compressor which basically just does the same but does it from another stage, where your loud parts are a little bit more quiet already, and then your second compressor is going to bring that down even more. But the whole story just stays the same. And this is just a basic way to start shaping your vocal so it fits your mix. Now let me just show you something else that you can do to just make your vocal a little bit more unique. I personally really like to use Lil Alter Boy on vocals just because it's quite easy. You have a pitch, a formant, a drive and a mix knob, and that's all. The distortion in here is quite nice to just make the vocal a little bit more edgy, and the formant and pitch do stuff to the pitch. Changing it up a little bit like this with Lil Alter Boy can really make your vocal just stand out, but you don't need to do it if you want some nice clean vocals. And also a little tip, if you're gonna add distortion on top of your vocals, it is gonna squash your vocal already a little bit, so you don't need to compress it that much, or you might still have to, but not as much as you'd have with a clean vocal. It's just something to keep in mind. Now this vocal sounded great with the Lil Alter Boy settings and stuff, We're gonna have to check this in the mix, because maybe with the format we're gonna put this off key or just gonna make it sound off. So we're gonna have to see and just tweak it a little bit more until it fits with our break.
You and I can reach the sky. Oh, I know. Your skin feels like a paradise. Don't let go. Oh no. You know I can't believe my eyes every time that you make it better. I get dizzy when we get so close. I know that you love me.
And now it sounds great, so let's just keep the little alto boy and just add some spatial stuff like reverb and delay. Also keep in mind that when you add different effects that might change the pitch of your vocal, you might have to do another low cut because it might introduce some sub again or some rumble, which you don't want. And now we're putting some reverb straight onto the vocal, and this is just a little bit of playing around. You have the mix pulled down to 28%, and the pre-delay and the decay just really make it so that it's a small reverb, but it just gets a little box around the vocal. It just gives it some more stereo field, and it's just gonna put it better in the mix.
Yeah, and I can reach the sky. Oh no, I know.
And now we're ready to add a bigger reverb, and I've already set that up. So I took my normal reverb, which I always have on the send over here, and I copied that to a new channel. And we're gonna sidechain this by using some goat vocals. From now on we're gonna call it goat vocals. Basically ghost vocals are just the same vocals as you have over here, but without the added reverb. So we can have a little bit more of a tighter release on our compression. In the sidechain it's gonna pick up the reverb as well. And we don't want that, so that's when we use a sidechain ghost vocal.
You and I can reach the sky. Oh no, your skin feels like a paradise. Don't let go.
And let's just balance the vocal a little bit, and that will be it for today.
You and I can reach the sky. Oh no, your skin feels like a paradise. Don't let go.
Well, that was it for today. Let me know if you liked it and learned something from this, and hopefully I'll see you back soon again. Cheers!